was completely different from the smiling face of last night. I couldn't feel any friendliness. Even while we are blown off behind, both legs still remained. This is the hell of regeneration. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 1237. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. Even if the body is crushed into little pieces, with a gust of wind it is mended and it returns as before, gets further crushed, mended again, and again and again the body is crushed into little pieces, and it continues to be crushed for eternity. That kind of hell. One of the 8 greater hells. 2. Then undoubtedly this, right here and now, was hell. By the way, I will tell thee one thing, servant. Although there is no point in thee knowing it since we part here yet. Dramaturgy, episode, guillotine cutter for sure. All the vampire exorcism specialists that until now have tried to kill me, even that brat with the flashy shirt, did not know it, but I am actually a former human. Kiss Shot said while laughing. She said it while her neck was regenerating a cut. A former human, in other words, I am the same as Dramaturgy and the... Ah! Weren't you an original? I was convinced of that. But come to think of it, Kiss Shot herself never said such a thing even once. I almost forgot about the time I was a human. I think I was born from a good family. Were we aristocrats? This dress seems a vestige of that time, Well, for vampires over 300 years old, there are no originals or subordinates anymore. Hey, what's your point? No, I just forgot it for a long time. I remembered it last night while talking with thee. Even I at first felt hesitant about eating people. Then. Thou too. Kiss Shot for a moment stopped her attacks. And said. If thou ate even one person thou would not feel it a sin anymore. I stopped my attacks, matching her. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1337. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. Our injuries regenerate in the blink of an eye. Even Dramaturgy, despite being a former human, moreover a vampire exorcist, was eating people, thou know? Although it seems he is eating only capital offenders supplied by Guillotine Cutters Church, it is not right to eat them just because they are criminals. All the more if they were judged criminals by Guillotine Cutters Church. However, the criterion of what is right or not to eat is not limited to humans. One must not eat cows, one must not eat pigs, one must not eat whales, one must not eat dogs. This is not about Guillotine Cutter alone. Even between fellow humans there are different cultures. Not to mention I am the key killer vampire. In a month it suffices me to eat one human. In a year they are at most 12 people. Even accounting for 500 years, they would be a mere 6,000 people. Looking at history, how big a number is it? How many humans did humans kill until now? This is a sophism. I am certainly not a threat for the world. My influence over the world is insignificant. And yet thou still tell me to die because I eat humans. Kiss Shot says. It is the human appetite that is the biggest greed. If I do not eat I die. It's not just vampires, even humans are like that. It's not just humans, even animals are like that. Even the plants in which I wish to turn into are like that. As long as they are not inorganic substances. As long as they are not stone or iron. They must sacrifice other lives? That's not the problem, Kiss Shot. I said. And it's like you say. What I say to you is die because you eat humans. Kiss Shot received it with a new. And she slowly thinned her cold eyes. Kiss Shot. I am a human. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1437. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. I see. I am a vampire. And the battle restarted should have. A pointless match of death and rebirth should have pointlessly unfolded at that moment. On my back. From behind, please wait. A voice echoed. It echoed on Naoitsu High School's sports field. That was clearly the voice of Hanekawa now that I mention it, just before there may have been the sound of the iron door of the PE storehouse being opened. Ararajikan, there is something strange. Hearing that from Hanekawa behind me, I thought you are the one who is strange. Why did you come out of the PE storehouse in this situation? Have you no fear? Even I who have an immortal body understand the reason. Just by standing in front of Kiss Shot like this it wouldn't be strange if your heart broke. Didn't I tell you that Kiss Shot with her eye power has even the ability to destroy a concrete block just by gazing at it? Then why did you show yourself? Hanekawa. Go hide yourself. Knowing the risk, I looked behind. No, run. Just run. Don't stay here. Put as much distance as you can from here. It is not like you think. Ararajikan Hanekawa was upset. Even when I deeply hurt her, even when episode made a mess of her flank, even when Guillotine Cutter took her hostage, the Hanekawa who remained calm all the time was plainly shaken. There was something really weird from before, Ararajikan. Perhaps we were still failing to notice something very important. Failing to notice? There was still something we were failing to notice? No, there should be no such thing. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1537. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyami Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. There is nothing left undone. Thou art noisy. Kiss Shot yelled. Even Kiss Shot was upset. That was quite an unexpected reaction. Although I had only once seen the scene of Kiss Shot being upset when I was still a human, and for a moment I was abandoning her. When I made the right decision. She was upset. She was crying, begging, apologizing. Do not say any superfluous words. Portable food. She glared. Just by doing that the PE storehouse's iron door behind Hanekawa was blown off. Eye power. Unlike the time when I kicked it open, now it's impossible to fix it. The PE storehouse's iron door shrank like when you crush aluminum foil, and was blasted inside the PE storehouse. Even the ground around Hanekawa was cracked. What was around and behind Hanekawa was erased. Just by being looked at. She just looked at it. The iron-blooded, hot-blooded, cold-blooded vampire, the key killer. Ah! Obviously even Hanekawa for a moment gulped down her own words. But I saw it. I already saw it. I know it. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1637. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyami Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. I know her dangerousness. Hanekawa Tsubasa. I know that she won't stop for just that much. She firmly, strongly glared back at Kiss Hot Hasarola Urian Hartenderblade. Hartenderbladeson, could it be that you human flavor do not meddle? Once more Kiss Shot looks at Hanekawa. Looks. Eye power, vampire's eye power, however. An opening. Being just a pointless death match, at first it didn't produce Kiss Hot's opening. At this point it produced it. Of course, unlike me, even while facing me Kiss Shot should have had margin to literally look aside, but now it was different. Now it was different. She was upset and looking at Hanekawa. She was full of openings. Kiss Shot. While I shouted her name I thrust myself between Hanekawa and her. I received her eye power Hedon. While my entire body was blown back I bit the base of her neck. I bit with extended double teeth with fangs. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1737. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyami Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. The technique to exorcise Kiss Shot. The technique to exorcise a vampire. The technique with which a vampire exorcises a vampire. If you think about it, it's extremely simple and clear. Instinct taught it to me. It is not clear whether it was my instinct as a human or as a vampire, however. She said it from the start. Before fighting dramaturgy, I received from Kissshot a tip that couldn't even be called a tip. At least pay attention about not letting that guy suck your blood. If a vampire has its blood sucked by another vampire, its existence will disappear. At that time I didn't have a blood-sucking impulse, but now it is different. Now I am hungry. Squelch. I suck her blood. I drive my fangs into her soft white skin. The way to suck blood, I grasped it without anybody teaching me. Undoubtedly it is the same as people taking a meal. Kissshot groans. Even if the blood spilled out regenerates, the blood sucked out won't come back. Because this is energy drain. Only for ki against ki. Because they are not even a meal. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1837. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. Though they are nothing more than a meal, they are not even a meal. This is just ki killing. I made a shield with my body against I power. It shouldn't reach Hanekawa. If I keep sucking Kissshot like this, if I fully wring her blood out, like Kissshot did to me that day, Kissshot. While collapsing backwards, she leans on me from above. However, she was still laughing. Ha 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 ha. She dies laughing, huh. Even that may be fine. Her blood. Kissshot Hasarolagarayan Hartenderblade's blood was delicious beyond compare. No matter the quantity, I could keep drinking it forever. I wanted to keep drinking it forever. That's how delicious it was. Kissshot. In this way, without obtaining a sense of fulfillment, or sense of achievement whatsoever, I will just exorcise you right away on the spot. I will kill you. The life I saved, I will kill it. This is my responsibility. Even if I turned back into a human because of your death, I wouldn't ever obtain any sense of fulfillment or achievement. It would be nothing more than a consequence. Suddenly, abruptly, I reflected. Something I was failing to notice. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1937. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. What is it that I was failing to notice? I was failing to notice something so important that Hanekawa had to rush out of the PE storehouse. What in the world could it be? And why was Kissshot so upset? Why was she so furious for what was at most the nonsense of a portable food? She had so much self-control before. Besides, I heard that before. Do not say any superfluous words. That line of Kissshot, I think I heard somewhere the same words from the mouth of Kissshot even before. I do not know anything about stuff like negotiators. Do not say any superfluous words, brat. That's right. Kissshot said that to Ashino. What was the topic? I remember it. Before that, the words Ashino said, I'm interested in you, Hartenderblade. You are willing to help Araragic and turn back into a human. I pushed down Kissshot, and ended up on top of her without thinking. By reflex I got up. Naturally, I extracted my fangs from her neck and then I looked at her facial expression. I saw it. Kissshot's cold eyes, while still cold, became hollow, her pupils seemed even slightly muddled. Even so, her lips curl. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2037. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. What is it, servant? Kissshot says. I still have half of my blood left. Now that I have so much blood drawn out of me, I cannot move, but if thou dost not hurry, soon I will revive, thou knowest. It is as she says. Now she can't move, but she will soon revive, it is as she says. However, more importantly, I had something I had to ask her. Although the last question I wanted to ask her was what I should have already asked, there was something I had to ask her. That Might have been something I shouldn't ask though. Hey Kishot. What is it? In what way did you plan to turn me back into a human? Kishot bluntly tut at my question. Dost thou care about such things now? I care. It's important. That portable food. She should have stayed silent. Kishot cursed Hanekawa. And she shut her mouth. And then the accursed Hanekawa with a slow pace, walked up to me and Kishot. Although she put back on her school sweater and tied back her scarf, judging from the shaking of her breast which seemed to have the boing boing onomatopoeia drawn in the background, it seemed she didn't have time to put her bra back. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2137. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. On. Unconcerned, Hanekawa came closer. And then spoke. Hartender Bladison. She said with a respectful tone of voice. Did you plan to be killed by Araragikan since the beginning? In order to turn him back into a human? I failed to notice it. If this didn't happen, for example, if I didn't witness the scene of Kishot eating guillotine cutter. In which way was she actually planning to turn me back into a human beside the method Hanekawa researched? What other kinds of method existed? I didn't even think about that. I completely failed to notice that. And do not talk rubbish, portable food, as if there was any ground for it. Then please tell me in which way you plan to turn Araragikan back into a human. I researched it, and as for methods to turn a vampire back into a human, I found nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else but to kill the master. Nothing else but to break the master-servant relationship. Ha! It was a known fact. It is just that in the first place I never wanted to turn this servant back into a human. I just lied to him to make him gather my limbs. I will tell all kind of lies in order to regain my complete form. Even the reason I turned this guy into a subordinate, to tell the truth, was simply due to my circumstances. That's not it? You made him gather the missing parts because if he killed you in an incomplete state he would not turn back into a human, isn't it? If you are not killed after you regain your complete form, it will mean nothing that time. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2237. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. Kishot was in such high spirits not because she regained her complete form but because she satisfied the requirement to turn me back into a human. Then? Rubbish. Way off the mark. Then why did you come here? Hanekawa talks with Kishot with extreme composure. The predator and the prey. Despite the fact they are a superior existence and an inferior existence. They spoke normally. Araragikan had a reason to fight you, but you don't have one. You covered it up with reasons like a chance to show your full power or something like that, but in fact you came here to get killed by Araragi-kun, right? Just for that, right? Making the conditions an even match, you deliberately stirred up Araragi-kun. Ha Hanekawa. Araragikan, be quiet. Hanekawa strictly commanded me. And she continued. Of course, there wasn't any ground for this. I just couldn't help but feel something was weird, but a while ago, because you did not kill me who interrupted the fight, I understood. You. Although she blew up Hanekawa's surroundings with vampire eye power. Hanekawa herself was not harmed. Even though Episode threw his cross mercilessly towards Hanekawa, who similarly intruded in the battle, Kishot, who called Hanekawa my portable food, didn't attack her. She just threatened her. You plan to die. Thou shouldst have stayed silent. Kishot repeated the same words as before. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2337. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. After saying that, what dost thou plan to do? After saying that, dost thou think my servant will be able to kill me? Et. As his master, I understand well my servant he is a fool who saved a dying vampire. If he knew about what the brat called my will, would he be able to suck my blood? Well but. Hanekawa was at a loss for words. Kiss-shot coldly looked at her. With hollow pupils she coldly looked at her. I thought that was the most difficult thing. How can I make him kill me? That was what troubled me. Therefore I stayed silent on the method until the last moment. I was already thinking I had no choice but to play by ear. However, although it was unexpected for me, thanks to Guillotine Cutter the conditions were ready by chance. If he got so angry just because I ate one person, there was no need to bother worrying about it. She said. Kiss-shot, with those eyes looked at me. I could get killed by thee while being the villain, the bad guy. Thou didst not need to know mine intentions. Why? I murmured. I was dumbfounded. Well, but. It was a fact that with that explanation everything matched. Why did you do such a thing? Servant. Kiss-shot says. I was searching for a place to die. A place to die, the cause of death for vampires 90% of the time. Suicide. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2437. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. Boredom kills the vampire. Quite the boredom. That was the reason I came to this country. Since the first subordinate died, I never came here again. It was not sightseeing but you. I do not want to die, she said while crying. The heart stolen, the limbs cut, she barely escaped alive. I thought it was time to die. That was my plan. However, Kiss-shot says. In the end, I became afraid to die. I became afraid to disappear after having lived 500 years. I feared to disappear. I did not know what to do. Thou happened to pass by there. I begged you to help me. I helped you. The outrageous thing was that I thought nothing. I thought nothing about the consequences or the future. It's just that. I didn't want to see her tear-stained face. I couldn't stand to see it. For the first time in my life, I was helped by another person. Whether they were human or vampire, nobody has ever helped me. While I was sucking thy blood, I asked myself what I was doing. Therefore, even if I consumed your blood, I did not eat thee any more. I made thee my subordinate. The second subordinate in a lifetime. Because thou wert not opening thine eyes, I thought thou wert going berserk, Kiss-shot says. With constant supervision all the time. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2537. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. She nursed me. However, somehow, thou opened thine eyes. Well, I thought that if thou wanted to be a vampire all would be fine, but thou, as I thought, said thou wanted to turn back into a human. While thou wert not conscious, I grimly thought it over. I decided it at that time. Kiss-shot said, helpless, but with a powerful voice. I will die for thy sake. For my sake. Thou wilt kill me, thou wilt turn back into a human, this time I will die. I felt I finally found the place to die I was searching for from 400 years before. 400 years before, that is the first subordinate. Kiss-shot said. About turning him back into a human. In those days it was impossible for me to turn him back into a human. This time, I intend to capitalize on that lesson. I could not die for his sake. I was unable to offer him my death. I could not turn him back into a human, therefore. For my sake. In order to turn me back into a human. In order to help me. She wanted to throw away her life. So do not be conceited, servant. It was originally my responsibility. If I did not act so disgracefully, such a thing would not have happened, and if thou did not save me that time, I would have died. At that Wait a moment. What was this situation impossible? At that point my mental side. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2637. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. I could take care of the mental side even though I said that a little while before. What is it? Art thou crying? Ah. Now that I noticed my cheeks were wet. Why? Because even if that was the case it doesn't change what I had to do, right? Even if she wanted to die for my sake. Didn't she eat a person? Thou art a crybaby, my servant. How pathetic. That's not it. These aren't tears. This, I say. This is blood. Ooh. Blood is flowing. How did it turn out like this? Kiss Shot is a vampire. She ate Guillotine Cutter. She has eaten 6,000 people so far. However, even your blood is flowing. We are alive. Therefore it's the same. What I did. What she is trying to do. What she did. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2737. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. What I am trying to do. Aren't they perfectly the same? Really, thine intervention was unnecessary, portable food. Kiss Shot said. And I had planned to be killed showing an opening at a suitable point, but well, fine. Servant, after all thou hath no alternative left but to kill me. That's the mental side. My mental side. If thou dost not kill me, from tomorrow on I will eat 1,000 people per day. If I say this, thou hath no choice but to kill me, right? As proof that this is not a bluff, if I start by seizing that portable food, wilt thou make up thy mind? It is better to pluck thyself the life thou saved. This is responsibility, right? Kiss Shot, thou art the second person to call me by that name. And thou will become the last. I looked at Hanekawa for help. Hanekawa was just biting her lower lip, however, moreover she didn't say anything. It was as if to make known the desperation of the current situation. Even Hanekawa did not know what to do. Yet, it was as Kiss Shot said. If things were like this, Hanekawa didn't need to rush out of the PE storehouse and disclose what Kiss Shot had in mind in the end. What I had to do didn't change at all. In this way the situation only grew worse. However, if I didn't know it and I kept misunderstanding Kiss Shot without being able to feel regret or remorse, as nothing but a buffoon, I would have turned back into a human. Would you believe it? www.bakatsuki.org web link 2837. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. In the end only my wish would be fulfilled. Nobody would be happy. I just pushed everything on Kiss Shot. Come on. Kiss Shot laughs. Come on. 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 Come on, kill me, servant. Damn. She was searching the place to die. Suicide. That's just an escape. It is proof you are running away from your heart. No matter how dignified you act, your real feelings were the ones I heard that day, under that streetlight. No, no, no. I do not want to die, I do not want to die, I do not want to die. Save me, save me, save me. Please. I cannot die, I cannot die. I don't want to vanish, I don't want to disappear. Someone, Someone, someone. I am sorry. Ashino. I looked up at the sky and yelled that with all my strength. With a vampire's lung capacity, I shouted with all my might. Ashino mim. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2937. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. And I call out that man's name. The name of that man dressed in an aloha shirt, frivolous and flippant. The name of that man who understood everything from the beginning but didn't say anything, that brazenly held only an unlit cigarette in his mouth. After all, you are watching from somewhere, don't put on airs and come here quickly. You bastard, I've got work for you. Hanekawa was looking at me surprised. Kissshot was looking at me surprised. However, without paying attention to their glances, I keep yelling. Ashino. I know you are here with your neutral standpoint, there is no way that you aren't watching this place right now. I have understood all your words, I don't seek an explanation anymore. So come here, I have understood what I have done, I deeply understand even the fact that I am not a victim but an offender. So come here, Ashino mim. I can hear you even if you don't yell like that. Always with a buoyant attitude, Ashino was sitting above the roof of the PE storehouse. He was sitting cross-legged, resting his chin in his hands. Looking really bothered. How long, or maybe he was there all of a sudden. Ararajikan. It's a first for us to meet in this place. Ashino. Haha, you are really energetic, did something good happen? I've got work for you. I repeated. I stared at Ashino and I repeated it. Do something. That is. With a wry smile, Ashino jumped down from the roof of the PE storehouse. He had a physique that doesn't make you think he has very good reflexes, however he landed neatly, without even bending his knees. And then he cheerfully got near us. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3037. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. You are too vague. I will pay money. It's not a problem of money. Then what is the problem? It's your own problem. Don't be pushy. Ashino said like he was refusing. In fact, he actually refused. Yo, class reption. And then Ashino raised a hand to Hanekawa. Nice to meet you, I'd say. Yes. Hanekawa responded with a nod. Nice to meet you, I am Hanekawa. I am glad that I stopped in the city just in case, even if the business with Hartenderblade ended. Because by doing so I was able to get to know you. I always thought you certainly disliked me, though. No way. I never happened to dislike a girl. I warn you that if you hear something strange from Ararajikan, that's a false rumor. Impudently. Ashino said a bare-faced lie. In fact, you are amazing. Although you had nothing to do with the case, you were affected so deeply. Female high schoolers are really so energetic. Did something good happen? It's not like I had nothing to do with it. Hanekawa said with resolution. Araragi's problem is my problem. Whoa, that's friendship. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3137. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. Ashino lets out a simmering laugh. It was a profoundly irritating demeanor that made fun of other people. Or is it youth? Brat. Kissshot says to Ashino, do not interfere. We have a pact. I don't recall having made any pact with you, Hartenderblade. I just wanted everything to turn out for the best. It was just better for me if you chose to die in order to turn Ararajikan back into a human. For me, in other words, for humans. Ashino said. That's right. Surely that was true even for Guillotine Cutter. I thought it was strange that he meekly returned Kisshot's arms. However, if I remember correctly, Ashino said he told Guillotine Cutter the gist of it. He informed him that I wanted to turn back into a human, and that Kiss Shot accepted it. Therefore he returned them. Ashino obtained a compromise by doing so. By doing so he persuaded him with that reason. Guillotine Cutter gave in. If that was the case, even if he returned the arms he wouldn't contradict his doctrine. He should have been able to preserve his face as an archbishop. And yet, because I had been deep in talk with Kiss Shot, I had gone to the convenience store, and I had been regretting to part with Kiss Shot. I dragged it out. No matter how much time passed, I wasn't trying to kill Kiss Shot. Guillotine Cutter thought he had been tricked by Ashino, and he entered the cram school ruin alone. Not even the barrier could hide Kiss Shot in her complete form. So well, although things approximately went as I thought, class reption really did something superfluous. It would have been better if Ararajikan didn't know that. Hanekawa said, not flinching at all. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3237. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. I think you are mistaken. Oh, boy. What a breast. I commend you just for your breasts. What? Hanekawa pins down her breasts in hot haste. Shake shake. Ashino looks at Hanekawa. I got it wrong. What a nerve. I commend you just for your nerves. I wanted to say 3 and laughs. As if that was possible. That was just sexual harassment. Anyway, an honor student's speech is quite something. Well then, class reption, what do you plan to do about this situation? That is something for Ararajikan to decide. So replied Hanekawa to Ashino's rebuttal. If nothing else, ending it all without knowing anything would be too cruel. You heard her, Ararajikan. I am given the stern treatment. Class reption's excessive kindness is a cruelty. She is really abnormal. How in the world does she have so much faith in you? Say, what are you going to do? Ashino faced me, and as usual, he held in his mouth an unlit cigarette. I just wanted to see with my eyes the after festival. You have come so far, you have come so close, just in case I'll try to listen. The work you got for me as a specialist. About the fee, oh yeah, it will take over the 5 million yen I condoned you. Ashino said, with a broad grin. Then, your wish. I want you to teach me a way to make everyone happy. I put into words. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3337. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. The wish from the bottom of my heart. A way to end things without anyone being unhappy. As if it existed. Are you stupid? Ashino shrugged his shoulders. There's a limit even to convenience. That's a theme written by grade schoolers in moral classes. It's not realistic. Ashino. However, he took the cigarette out from his mouth and put it back into his pocket. Ashino Mim looked at Hanekawa, at Kiss Shot, and at me in turn and said. There would be a way to make everyone unhappy. He swiftly explained it to us who were dumbfounded at his words. In other words, I'm talking about distributing onto everybody the burden of unhappiness generated by the situation. Nobody will have their wish fulfilled, but if that's fine with you, the way exists. Everyone will become unhappy, everyone will be burdened with unhappiness. Distributing. Subdividing the burden. This was certainly not something to push onto a single person. Concretely. Yeah. Ararajikan, come very close to killing Heartenderblade. Almost strip her of her special characteristics and abilities as a vampire. Just make sure she doesn't die. Make Heartenderblade more moribund than before. So much that she won't even be a shadow of her former self, not even her name will remain. Make her an inferior existence, a human-like pseudo-vampire, an entity that won't be able to eat humans no matter how hungry she is. And then, continued Ashino. Ararajikan, You won't be able to turn back into a human, but you will be able to come very close to it. You will become a vampire-like pseudo-human. Some of the special characteristics and abilities of a vampire will remain. It won't be possible to strictly call you a human, but you will be extremely far from a vampire and extremely close to a human. Naturally you will be completely different from a half-vampire, become this kind of halfway entity. It will suit you. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 3437. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. It will suit me, you say. Naturally you too won't be able to eat a human no matter how hungry you got. However, by settling things this way, setting Ararajikan aside, Heartenderblade will starve to death without sufficient nourishment. You must continue to constantly give Heartenderblade your blood. The sole nutrient able to keep Heartenderblade alive, once degraded to that inferior existence, will be just your flesh and blood. You must devote the rest of your life to Heartenderblade, and Heartenderblade for the rest of her life must stay close to you. Then Hankawa cut into. In other words, we, the humans, yes. Give up on exorcising a dangerous vampire. Give up on the complete elimination of the key killer, the iron-blooded, hot-blooded, cold-blooded vampire, as well as her subordinate. If she loses that much power, guys like Dramaturgy and Episode won't even be able to find Heartenderblade out. That is to say, the risk remains. The danger that Heartenderblade and Ararajikan might turn back into vampires and eat people will remain to an extent that cannot be disregarded. If I do that, everybody will become unhappy. Nobody's wish will be fulfilled. Kissshot won't die. I won't turn back into a human. Both vampires will survive. Do not joke around, brat. Kissshot yelled below me. She raises her voice. I already sucked half her blood, unable to move. The only thing she was able to do was to yell in that manner. What on earth does a brat who did not live a tenth of what I did understand? Do not say convenient things. I do not want to survive in those conditions. There is a limit even to disgrace. I do not want to live in shame. My place to die is here. At last I found it. At last I can die. I will die for my servant's sake. Let me die for his sake. Kill me, hurry up and kill me. I do not want to live. That's why you will become unhappy. Your wish will not be fulfilled. Although the one who decides will be Ararajikan. Yes, it's as Class Reption says. Servant. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3537. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. As if she thought Ashino wasn't worth talking to, Kissshot turned her eyes my way. As I said, now do not be taken in by that brat's fast talk. I do not want to live. And yet, without hesitation, I decided it. It was definitively my responsibility. I thought hard about the consequences and I said it. I want you to live. I caressed her hair softly. Her golden hair. Her soft and smooth hair. That, yes. It was certainly a sign of obedience. I will not say it just once. I will bow my head like a servant any number of times. So don't try to have a cool death, live an awkward life for me. Don't search for a place to die, search for a place to live. Kissshot had a desperate facial expression. However, she couldn't move. She couldn't even struggle. She was in tears, with tears similar to blood. She was just supplicating. To beg thee. Please, servant. Somehow kill me. Kill me, somehow turn back into a human. Help me, I'm sorry, Kissshot. I called out her name. The name that I would perhaps never call her by again. I will not help you. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3637. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 017 Bakatsuki. Thus my spring break ended. The spring break that was like hell. And my last spring break as a high schooler with a tragic bad ending in which nobody became happy and there was no salvation, the curtain closed. Translator's notes. 1 Kukasakana is a legendary woman with a slit mouth too. Also called 8 hot hells, from the Buddhist scriptures 3. The second kanji of nerve is that of breast back to 016 return to main page forward to 018 recuperate to www.bakatsuki.org web link. Title equals Monogatari _ series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi _ vamp _ 017 and olded equals 401782. Dernier modification de set page LE 24 November 2014 à 1836. LE contenu ESTDISB oneable sous license TLG translation common agreement V.0.4.1 soft mention contraire. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 3737. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 018. De Bakatsuki. 018. Afterward. Or to better say, the story from now on. The next day, after a long time I was roused out of bed by my two sisters, Karen and Tsukiai, and I headed to school. The older brother returned home after a journey of self-discovery that lasted for 2 weeks and the parents didn't say anything special, while the sisters only burst into loud laughter. Since in fact I believe I did something for which there were no words, and that could only be laughed at, I think I can only agree with them. Anyway, today the new school term starts. I headed to school riding my bike. It has been 2 weeks since the last time I rode my bike. I don't think you can forget how to ride a bike just because you experienced a little hell. The arrival. At the gymnasium the class grouping was posted. Ooh, a miracle happened. My name and that of Hanekawa were within the same board. Well, miracle may be too strong a word for that, but I was a bit elated. It was an emotion I didn't feel at the class change in the second year. I don't know what the true nature of that emotion was. Anyway, it was wonderful that we got to be in the same class. From among the crowd of students who raced to confirm their own class, I found Hanekawa and called her out because the very picture of an honor student like her is rare even at Naoitsu High School. I spotted her immediately. She had changed her hairdo. That is to say, she had only split her single braid in two to the sides, but just by that her image changed considerably. Oh my, it's Ararajikan. Yoahua. Hanekawa had a tired look on her face. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 1/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. Her shoulders were dropped, and she was dejected and slouching. There has never been someone so down because of the new school term. Is something wrong, Hanekawa-san? What could it be? Does she dislike us being in the same class? I was assailed by a persecution complex, however somehow it seems that it wasn't that. Hanekawa pulled the sleeve of my school uniform, and took me out the gymnasium. And as I thought we reached a point where the two of us could talk, I forgot my bra in the PE storehouse. She groaned. Yeah. By now, it would have surely been discovered. We wanted to finish cleaning the sports field up all we could, within the limits of the feasible, but there was nothing we could do any more about the PE storehouse's iron door, which was curled up and crumpled like an aluminum foil by vampire's eye power, so we left it like that and went back home. Nobody was going in the direction of the sports field yet, but the door completely disappeared. No matter how I look at it, there would be a big fuss about it. Naturally, the surroundings of the PE storehouse would be scrupulously examined. It seems that was distressing Hanekawa. Although the circumstances didn't allow me to be attentive, for me it will be the blunder of a lifetime. and the embarrassment of a lifetime. Don't worry, Hanekawa. Why? I retrieved it? What did you say? I will not let you feel embarrassed. In those circumstances, when did you have time to do that? Hey, don't say something so sad. During this spring break, I never thought, not even once, to give priority to anything other than your underwear, you know. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. Don't make me listen to your sad story. And that's why in my room I now have a full set of top and bottom. Give them back. We chatted. Since it seemed there was still time until the bell rang, Hanekawa and I talked a little bit in that place. Of course the topic was vampire related. Hanekawa taught me something out of her vast stock of knowledge about vampires. Well, it's only a theory, she premised. Vampires suck human blood, however, the implication changes completely whether they suck blood for a meal or whether they suck it in order to create a subordinate. Yeah, I don't know if it was from the person herself or from Ashino, but I think I've heard it. A meal, well, it's a meal, but creating a subordinate somehow seems to be something akin to a sexual act. Sexual act. Seriously? Said Hanekawa. They say appetite and sexual desire resemble each other. Besides, following that line of thinking, isn't it clear why a vampire isn't that willing to create a subordinate? In 500 years she had 2 subordinates. I don't know much about vampires' idea of chastity, but she has been a virtuous woman. One virtuous? I think her first subordinate was her lover. A rule of not creating a subordinate, that's how they described it to me. A virtuous vampire. Even if they are about to die, they aren't inclined to save themselves by making a subordinate, was it? Then, in which occasion do they create subordinates? That was the question. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. But weren't they human and vampire? That's why she turned him into a subordinate, didn't she? The existence of vampire halves could be said to attest to those sort of couplings. Although the circumstances were a bit different, I suppose. At any rate, this was just a conjecture. However, it's for this reason that she tried to redo what she did at that time, I think as atonement. Atonement: she couldn't turn the first subordinate back into a human. Therefore she added a second, me, to the first. Might have been. She didn't want to be killed by the 3 vampire exorcists, though what she really meant by having found her place to die, maybe was the fact she met with you. When she met the second subordinate. A place to die, huh? Thinking about it, at the time when she almost lost her vampire abilities by turning you into a subordinate, at that time when she lost her blood-sucking ability, perhaps she was already prepared to starve to death. If a vampire can't suck blood, she dies. Well, that's true. But in order to turn you back into a human, she couldn't let herself starve to death. Last night, at the beginning, she invited me to live together for eternity. I don't know what she planned to do if I accepted her invite. Well, that's precisely what would have happened, isn't it? Precisely. Even if a person cannot live alone, 2 people can. 2 people are better than 1, just as 2 of you are better than 3, something like that. That sort of thing. What it could be, says Hanekawa. I wonder, I replied. A wound. A wound has remained. www.bakatsuki.org web link 4/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. Hanekawa said, looking at my neck. At the back of the neck, the marks of 2 fangs. What? The collar doesn't hide it well. Perhaps I noticed it because I know about it? Folding her arms, Hankawa checked it from various angles. Besides, there are also the PE hours. Ararajikan, it would be better if you grow your hair a little more. I see. Maintenance will be a pain. In the end, how much of a vampire remained in your body? I have to test it later, but, well, it seems my capacity to heal is higher. I have the impression that when I brush my teeth it's more difficult for my gums to bleed. So down to earth. Something like that. If I look at it positively, I was indeed able to turn back into a human, although side effects remain, that's what I'd say. Side effects, huh. Well, whether or not I am currently a human, just by being able to get out under the sun like this, I feel like the world changed considerably. You're forward-looking. Hankawa was bashful. Even the smiling face of Hankawa, as I thought, seen under the sun, looked dazzling all the time. Well, if there is something that worries you, just say it. I will let you massage my shoulders as much as you wish. That's right. If I want to massage them, I will say so. In order to make Hankawa feel good, I will research many things beforehand and I will get my heart ready, and from the next time I will be truly able to massage them. Why, Yuri, talking about my shoulders, right? Well, yeah, that's an ambiguous answer. Hankawa made a bitter smile. www.bakatsuki.org web link 5/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. In any case, she offered her right hand to me and said, "At last I got to be in the same class as you. I have to grab the chance to properly rehabilitate you." Rehabilitate? What's that? To rehabilitate, it's written like resurrect. Isn't it fitting for the immortal Ararajikan? 3 said Hankawa. Please take care of me for the next year, Ararajikan. Yeah. Without saying a year, please take care of me forever. Although surely it will be shorter than eternity. Still, please take care of me forever. I shook Hankawa's right hand. That was certainly a handshake between friends. And then we go in the classroom, and we receive from the homeroom teacher a short course on the new school year, and the new school term. Well, it was the usual every year. Tomorrow we will elect the class representatives, so I was told to consider who would be a good candidate. Of course I will vote for Hankawa for the male one, I don't care. And then after school, I went to the cram school ruin alone. I departed after informing Hankawa. I even thought to go together with her, but this was my responsibility, and mine alone. 20 minutes by my bicycle and I finally arrived at that place. I already knew this place as if it was not the house of other people but my own home. I passed through a hole in the fence and I entered the premises. Still, if I think about it, I could say this was the very first time I looked carefully at this building from the outside during daytime. If I looked at it under the sunlight, it was more shabby than expected. It was rotting and decayed. It was as if the building was dying. www.bakatsuki.org web link 6/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. Looking at it with human eyes, that was what was visible. I cast down my eyes and I entered that abandoned building and then I climbed the stairs. Second floor, I passed beyond it. I'm headed for the 4th floor. She isn't weak against the sunlight anymore. Because she is no longer a vampire. I checked the room that had a hole in the ceiling, but there was nobody there. I opened the door of the next classroom. It seems even that door was broken and Ashino was there. Yo. You're late, Ararajikan, I've been waiting for you. Ashino greeted me with a cheerful tone of voice. As always, he was wearing an aloha shirt. He was lying down on a bunk bed made with desks. No matter how I look at it, he wasn't waiting for me, but even if I retorted at every little thing it would be of no use. Ha ha. The school uniform suits you, Ararajikan. You look very different. Despite my appearance, I am a student, you know. Ah, you're right. I inadvertently forgot. That's right, you were the Gakuin Inabatoru main character. I don't really know if that really happened anymore, it's something from a distant past. Anyway, it's not in my character to be the main character. I am not fitted to be a villain, or a monster. Right now I am a mere high schooler. As I appear as I look, I am a student. Though for a little while I became superhuman. I see. Class Repchen is not with you, is she? Yeah, I'm alone. Would it have been better if we were together? In fact, in this case it doesn't matter. Although, Ashino continued. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 7/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. If you let me speak out of concern, you must be very careful about Class Repchen. Ararajik, and you shouldn't take your eyes off her. That girl is a bit too dangerous. This time everybody, including you and me, we have all been manipulated by that girl. If that girl were to become the center of a problem, honestly, not even I can imagine what in the world would happen. Yeah. You don't need to tell me, I was going to. I replied. Because she's a friend. I see. Well, this is not an after-sales service, but I was worried about what would happen to you, so I planned to stay in this building for a while. I searched a lot, but in the end this cram school ruin was the one where it was easiest to pass time. If something happens, consult me. Consulting you is too expensive. It's not expensive. It's an equitable compensation, he said. Ashino pointed to a corner of the classroom with his unlit cigarette. Well then, let's proceed at once with the first time. In a corner of the classroom, there was a blonde girl. She was sitting hugging her knees. She looked 8 years old, a small girl. Not a 27-year-old. Not a 17-year-old, not a 12-year-old, not a 10-year-old, an 8 years old blonde girl. With an insecure expression she was staring at me. Really? What in the world should I call her? She was not even a shadow of her former self, she didn't even have a name. The ruin of what she once was. The promise of a beautiful demon. And www.bakatsuki.org web link 8/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. For me, an existence I can't forget. Really? I'm sorry. I moved close to her. And then I lowered my waist to match the sitting girl, and hugged her. If you want to kill me, you can kill me anytime. She doesn't say anything. She won't talk to me anymore. As if she was also peevish, she showed some resistance, but she immediately became docile, and while still not saying a word she bit my neck. A little pain. And then a sense of euphoria spread through my body. I still don't think that was the correct thing to do. Ashino says from behind with a casual tone of voice. I guess I should call it human self-centeredness. The disgust you felt for vampire-eating humans could be said to be the same as the disillusionment from seeing the scene of a lovely cat eating a mouse. And you chose to keep a vampire as if it were a pet. To remove her fangs, to declaw her nails, to smash her vocal cords, to neuter her You, who have been treated as a pet, now treat your master as a pet. This is exactly what's happening now. If you think about it, it's not an impressive tale. The human who wanted to throw away his life for a vampire, and the vampire who wanted to throw away her life for a human, It's like you wash blood with blood, however, blood will tell. Since this is work, I don't mean to stick my nose into it, but well, since I had a part in it, if you get tired of it just tell me, Ararajikan. I will never loathe it. I reply, while the girl sucks my blood. Because I am doing something I like. If you liked, then. The detached rejoinder from Ashino. While giving him my back, I lightly hugged the small and helpless body of the girl who even with all her might would still get crushed by the physical strength of a human. www.bakatsuki.org web link 9/10. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 018 Bakatsuki. We, who wounded each other, lick each other's wounds. We, who have become damaged goods, need each other. If tomorrow you die, my life will last until tomorrow. If today you live, I too will live today. So I vowed aloud. And then the story of the damaged goods began. Red when wet and black once dried, a story of blood. The story of our precious wound which would never heal. I would not tell it to anybody. Translator's notes. 1. It is worthy to note that Kizumono, from the title, means not only damaged goods, but also a woman who has been deflowered too. The original Japanese word, kusei, has many homophones. 3. In Japanese, immortal means also undead. Back to 017. Return to main page. Forward to next volume. Recuperi to www.bakatsuki.org web link. Title equals Monogatari _series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi _vamp _018 and old it equals 321073. Dernière modification de cette page le 21 janvier 2014 à 8:53. Le contenu est disp1able sous licence TLG translation common